New York City. Oh my God. Baby, when I tell you that the Queen's Supreme Court is bringing the seat to your city. And honey, we're not just giving you one day. Girl, we giving you a whole weekend, baby. Me, Funky Dr. Ross, and the real Miss Sophia, baby. Child, we coming there for a 2-day extravaganza. Girl, get on Eventbrite right now. www.eventbrite.com and get your motherfucking tickets, bitch, for Easter weekend, bitch, with the Queen's Supreme Court. That's April 21st and April 22nd. Sunday, come have brunch with me and King David. And Monday, come on out and judge these cases at the live show, bitch. Listen, don't meet me there, bitch. Beat me there.
This is very personal work for me.
Politics.
I believe I was called to tell my story, use my voice, be a voice for the community, to speak to and for a community of people that's been ignored, denied, overlooked.
Religion.
This is my life's work.
Religion.
I want to use words to uplift, heal, inspire, encourage.
Do something different. Every Monday at 10.
What's going on, people? Listen, I didn't even get to situate my situation. I'm in here in my gym clothes. But y'all don't smell me, do you?
No.
I don't smell like
I just smell a little nut.
No, kid.
No, you don't.
When
I go to the gym, I usually shower before I go to the gym, and I showered today before I went to the gym. And so, how you like it?
I mean, it's healthy.
You know?
It tastes like healthy. You know how healthy just tastes? It's not nasty, but if you like peanut butter,
it's disgusting. Yo.
Well, I mean that one is, but it's not a strong peanut butter taste.
It's a Gold Macro bar. Is that backwards? It's a Gold Macro bar. It's peanut butter flavored, but no Rita.
I did not feed
nothing.
I did give Donta a Fiji water. Now I started to give him one of them bottled waters that come in the delivery with the Amazon Fresh groceries.
I mean, can I say that I'm wearing one of Kimmy Doll's shirts? Y'all look up Kimmy Doll. She on my podcast. We ain't got to me yet, but just want to say that.
So this is Donta. Y'all met Donta before. When I was in LA the time before last, I think I stayed at his house.
Hey, everybody.
And this is Ian. He's down in Houston. You guys met him before. We just dropped the podcast with him, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Him and Sinead, and the podcast opened with him talking about sucking dick and how he enjoys it.
I'm not here for that. The blood of Jesus. I will not.
You don't suck dick?
Call her. Niece.
I can't talk. I got my foot pinball.
Get a little swallow of this and then we'll wait.
Rita. Say it loud, Rita.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook and YouTube versions of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. We don't really have a real conversation tonight.
He didn't do no outline.
We didn't do an outline.
But I have a lot of stuff I can talk about.
Yeah. What you want to talk about?
See, my stuff is controversial, and my stuff may make folks mad.
Like what?
Iyanla.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about
We can talk about that. What? With
Let's talk about
my girl?
Leandria.
Leandria?
Yeah. Not even with Leandria, just Iyanla, period. And the premise of the whole Fix My Life show. I don't like it.
Why you don't like it?
Because I think it opens up too much, and it gives this false sense of wholeness when the credits start rolling and people are watching it, and we're now being entertained off of watching broken families. And I don't think there's at the end of the show, people are still left open. But it was a good show. We watched a good show, and we watched her slam her fist down and call folks gutter snipes and all kind of stuff. And she gives you the best memes and gifts. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think as a show, I would love to see her pull in actual therapists. And I do appreciate that she says, I'm not a therapist. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. But I would love to see her pull in therapists and give therapists the real credit. Give them.
But
some
you know
credit.
that there are therapists working behind the show.
But the average person that's watching it for entertainment think that she's it.
So what's the difference in watching these people on Love and Hip Hop and Married to Medicine fuck up their lives through our entertainment and watching Iyanla potentially, though I don't feel like she fucks up the
I don't either.
But
because I think that there are people who watch that show and can see themselves through those people and some of those stories on there. And you might be able
and see, Jay just said she's a therapist. She's not a therapist.
No, she's not a therapist.
She's not a therapist.
She
tells you she's not a therapist. She's a life coach.
She's a life coach. But I think you can sometimes watch that and see your own dysfunction through the people that are, and maybe you can be healed yourself or put yourself on a different
I tell people I have 3 different therapists and 1 coach, right? I have a sex therapist, a grief counselor, which is like a therapist for me, and I also have like a general therapist, because a bitch got a lot going on, okay? But I have a coach that I go to for something totally different. My coach, I expect that bitch to break me down and make me feel ugly.
And the other ones build you back up.
Exactly.
But the way the premise of the show is situated is like Iyanla breaks them down and builds them back up.
It's not entertaining to watch somebody be built up.
But we're watching families talk about their most traumatic experiences. I remember the one that had the little girl, I think she was 16, and she had all this trauma, and the little girl was cussing out Iyanla and whatever, and Iyanla
because she thought that her mom was somebody else.
Yeah, so she was cussing out Iyanla, and Iyanla got mad at the little girl and left in the room by herself and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I get the tough love thing, but not at the expense of ratings. You know, that was a hurt, broken child that in that moment I would have loved to have seen some therapeutic work really be done, and it wasn't.
But see, I see it differently. Because, see, I like to think that when that show was done, they put them with people in their cities or their towns that can help them continue, like, some sort of a therapy. I feel like the show is, like, it's an opportunity for us to watch therapy happen on TV, like, in real time.
But are we?
I feel like that.
If she's not a therapist, how are you watching therapy?
But, I mean, not therapy in the literal sense, though. But I just feel like it's an opportunity for us to really, really put...
Ooh, these lights, bitch. Okay.
High. That's why I didn't
That's that liquor. You need some Fiji water.
No. We only have 1 Fiji water per guest. And you are 1 guest. So now you can share some of it because I only got about 19 more bottles.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now I do have some Amazon Fresh.
No, I agree. I agree.
And I got some City Bunch
Yanni
out
said,
of the sink.
I agree. She was the little girl was very disrespectful. I'm not saying the girl wasn't disrespectful. She was out of pocket on all kind of levels. But a trained therapist would not have responded the way Iyanla responded.
That's true. But here's what I will say too, because I've had this conversation with people too about Iyanla, because I've heard therapists and people who, like, clinicians who have gone to school for that, who feel like what she does is like trash. But what I will say is, I don't think that every single person needs textbook therapy. Some bitches you got to be like, use a gutter snipe. I mean, I just feel like some.
But that's not therapy. That's not therapy.
Well, why? Who's to say it's not?
That's not therapy. I mean, in the textbook form of therapy, that's not therapy, because calling me a gutter snipe is not helping me not be a gutter snipe.
But we're not. I am not interested. I am not interested in seeing wholesome therapy.
Oh, hold on. Squeeze in. Welcome to the Donta
and Ian show.
We gotta watch the kids. You gotta watch the kids. Somebody said turn on the fans. I want to turn on the fans.
Boots. I'm not interested in watching textbook therapy. My therapist makes me calm. She makes me relax. It's almost like going to a massage therapy.
But would you want that televised?
No.
Would you want your sessions televised?
I would want my coach sessions televised, because, bitch, she be letting my bitch ass have it. You nasty ass, STI. No. Yeah, she gets me together. Why is you sucking dicks and not checking for smells?
Is that what your therapist actually said
My
to you?
coach.
Your
No.
coach? Whoa, that's what your coach actually said to you?
Anybody should be asking me that. Not even a therapist. A friend should be asking me that.
But watch this. When you finish with that glass, just put it in the trash.
Take it with you.
I don't even want that glass. I don't even want that anymore.
You know I'm clean.
Take it back to the hotel.
I'm clean, yeah.
So
I hate that term,
She
clean,
actually,
by the way.
right. That's so disrespectful. We got to talk about that.
Clean
now.
is awful.
We're gonna write that down so we can talk about that now.
Yeah.
I hate sissy.
You hate clean and sissy.
I hate
sissy.
I hate sissy.
Oh, let me also say, because this is a note from my girl Michelle Yates. Michelle Yates, she, sent me some hanging folders for my file cabinet that my girl Avio Duvernay sent to me, my little file system over there. So Avrio sent me some hanging things too, but Michelle Yates sent me some manila folders, because we getting our whole little office together over here.
Michelle, send some Doritos. Send that.
Send some
some short ribs,
boots,
some collard green, some file folder, some stuff that we can use.
Listen,
a box of grits.
Listen, no, my coach has told me some real shit though.
But did it help you? Have you changed?
Yes, that's why I can drink out this cup.
So you stopped sucking dick without smelling it first?
I can't.
I definitely. Well, some smells are good.
That's what I'm about to say. Because some smells are good. Somebody would enjoy right now what's happening in my underwear.
Okay, right down fetish. That's a fetish. That's a fetish.
I smell the must.
That's a fetish.
You don't.
Everybody has a fetish. Everybody has a fetish.
You don't like musk.
But see, that's a fetish.
But do you like musk on the nut?
No.
Some people like a little sweet and salty.
So it got to be freshly washed.
Yes.
Peanuts and popcorn.
Every dick that you suck got to be freshly washed. So no spontaneous dick sucking.
How old are you, Donta?
I'm 47.
Correct. He didn't came across the musty penis before.
And you didn't suck that.
In my 20s.
Not in your 30s, 40s, or 50s?
No.
He ain't in 50s yet.
I'm not in 50s.
You're closer. You're closer. And you look good. You look 30, but you're closer to 50.
Not too much, because if he looks 30, then how old do I look?
Your age.
Look, if he looks 30, how old do I look?
Don't do that. I am the baby.
But wait. So, first of all, now my thing is with the dick, let's just take a little nasty.
We don't have a topic.
We don't have a topic.
He didn't give a topic.
Let's take a nasty left turn.
Thank you, Kimmy. Everything got to be washed. Washed, sprayed, holed, fumigated.
I'm not saying you suck a dick.
Debugged,
I'm not saying you suck a dick or lick the nuts from the gym after he played basketball and he's smelling and
But some folks like that.
Some people do. But what I'm saying is, it's okay if you just got a little essence on it. Just a little essence. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a little essence.
Well, that's called a pheromone.
Come on now.
We got pheromones. Everybody got pheromones. That's what attracts you to the individual. They're pheromones. Right. It's like, for example.
Now, I'm not interested in pheromones from the ass.
No, but I'm just saying.
I need you. Now that needs to be fresh from the shower.
I'm just saying, like, some people have pheromones when they meet people. When you meet somebody, their pheromones is what attracts you. It was a study done, I think it was on women, on pregnant women. Mm-hmm. Their pheromones change. So when they're pregnant, their scent is different. Yeah. So they feel like their partner either loves them more or loves them less because their pheromone levels have shifted. So if you are attracted to a certain scent on an individual, it's the pheromones.
Is that why I threw up after I ate pussy that time? I don't like pussy pheromones. Well,
probably because you're
a homosexual.
Right.
That's why you threw up.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. Now, speaking of pheromones and things, see, I understand what we smell like when we've been to work for the day, when we took a shower at night, and then you get a little nook in the morning. You have a little essence in the morning after you showered. Some of y'all think that you don't sweat a little bit when you sleep, but you do. But I don't see. I've never been with a white guy, and I had a white boy suck my dick before.
Oh, those
but I've never been with a white boy,
funky.
So I don't know what they're supposed to smell
funky.
like. Who, white people?
Oh, they smell like a wet towel. Those pheromones.
Well, Jackie's back said it was wet potato chips.
Laid or lays, either way, I ain't laying.
You never been with a white guy?
I have.
Dante's been with a white guy.
For a corn.
You've been with a white guy before? Oh, yeah, you talked about escorting.
Yeah.
Did you call it escorting a prostitute?
Prostitute.
Right. This was years ago.
Yeah, child. I'm too fat to call it.
Are we done with Iyanla?
Yeah, we done with Iyanla.
Yeah,
the question on the table and right now is, have you been with a white man? I know the answer to this.
Tell me about it.
Nothing to tell. I've been with every race.
Okay.
On both sides, male and female.
Oh. You ain't pussy?
I've been with every race, both sides.
You like the smell of pussy?
I've been with every race, both sides.
Do you like the smell of pussy?
I don't dislike.
Okay.
Everyone has their own essence.
They want to talk about Wendy. Let me put Wendy.
Oh.
That's not a bad. No, we're not gonna bash though.
We're not gonna bash. We're gonna talk about her name later.
We're not bashing. So let's where we at now.
Clean.
No, that's queen. That's what we queen.
No, that's clean.
He said he hates that term.
I don't like the term.
Oh,
when
clean.
People say clean.
Yeah,
but you got to tell them what that means.
So clean is speaking of basically when you're talking to...
Hold on, pause. Keisha said, I seem a bit corny. Because I'm not talking raunchy. I'm corny. Okay. Go ahead.
So clean is speaking to when one person says that a person that's living with the
Hold on,
virus...
pause, because Keisha really coming for me. Oh, Keisha, I talk greasy. Trust, I talk greasy. It's just no sense in having all three of us being greasy.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And I'm obviously greasy.
Right.
I'm like wiping my grease.
I can get greasy. I just choose not to. So, all right.
Go ahead.
So, listen.
Let me say this, because his tequila or something is taking him too long to land the plane.
Yeah.
So listen, when somebody says clean, it just means you're free of STDs or STI.
Right.
In particular,
HIV.
It's HIV is what they're talking about.
Right.
So they're like, are you clean?
Right.
I'm clean.
Right.
So that's offensive to people who are living with the virus.
Right.
It's offensive to people that's not living with the damn virus.
So basically what happens is you have conversations when you meet somebody new.
He's getting his second.
You will ask, are you clean? Meaning that you are STD and HIV free, which I think is very stupid. Are you clean? So if you're dirty, that means you have HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomoniasis, herpes, hepatitis, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which is very shaming, which is why some people just choose not to disclose their status because they don't be called dirty.
And it's like, well, because I'm living with HIV or I have an STD, I'm not clean.
Right.
Like hygienically.
Right, hygienically. Right. That's dumb. That's stupid. But
listen, you hoes out here, can we talk about this? Bitches really want to fuck raw so bad.
And do.
And they do, right? The children want to fuck raw so bad. Let me scoot up. They want to fuck raw so bad and they want to have a reason. And so they make up these catchphrases like clean and, all that bullshit because the truth of the matter is you're asking us, how can I fuck you raw and feel better about myself? The answer is, bitch, take care of your goddamn body.
I'm laughing, Keisha. I'm laughing. We good, sis. We good, sis. I'm laughing. Way on the inside.
but to that point.
I'm hungry, Keisha. I got this peanut butter bark in my mouth. So if I had something to eat, Keisha, I'd be...
Well, I said we were coming here to podcast. I didn't say we were coming here for dinner.
All right. All right, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ian.
Mm-hmm. But kind of going in the same kind of vein of this conversation about being clean or HIV and all that kind of stuff, I've noticed that there's a hierarchy now in the HIV community, like those that are HIV positive and those that are undetectable.
Yes.
And it's almost like, oh, well, I'm undetectable. So it's like, I'm better than them other girls. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like...
So,
have you noticed that?
So it is a thing, right? But it's a good thing on one end, right? Because if you're undetectable, that means you're untransmittable, right?
You equals you.
You equals you. So science behind it says that if you get your viral load virally suppressed, right? If you get it below this certain number, right?
Right.
20 copies, right? Then you can not transmit HIV. What if more people get undetectable, that's how we keep HIV from moving.
But I think that it's a way to denigrate another community.
Come on, word.
Denigrate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, I'm positive, but I'm undetectable.
But the hard part about
they're HIV positive.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
the hard part...
It causes a division.
Yeah,
it causes a divide.
It does, because the hard part is, for some people, the road to become undetectable is met with so many social determinants that it becomes difficult. The issue is... we're not dealing with the social determinants. I don't know if it causes division because the truth of the matter is if we were all focused on protecting ourselves and protecting community, then we wouldn't be creating division by putting out science that moves us forward.
But we also still don't make it safe for people to disclose.
Yeah.
Whether they're living with HIV or not, there's still a lot of people out there. If a person's undetectable and they know they can't transmit it, they still are not going to date someone living with HIV.
Yeah.
They're just not.
That's a word.
They're not going to do that. So it doesn't really matter. You equals you, PrEP, PEP, all that.
But this the shade.
If somebody says they have HIV, then I'm still not telling. So we haven't made it safe for people to disclose their status.
This the shade. You hoes may not be with girls that have HIV. And I am presumed negative. I say presumed negative because, bitch, the last time I got tested, I was negative, but, bitch, I still fuck raw. So, presumed negative.
Come
right?
on
So my point in saying that, though I am an HIV negative person, what I do know is that most of the community, especially the community that I sit in, not gay, but 18 to 35, okay? I'm in between that. Most of us, and black, we're fucking raw. Not gay, just us. Not black.
Don't terrorize my Facebook page, okay? These are not all of my views. But no, he is telling the truth. But he is telling the truth. But you know, sometimes the gays get really sensitive. Look, well, all gays ain't doing that, and we know it's not all.
Not every,
but
a lot. Because we would not be I would not be in Atlanta with this esteemed panel of people. Though you live in Atlanta, this is someone that is now my new big brother. I would not be here if there wasn't an epidemic and a pandemic of HIV between the ages of 13 to fucking 35.
So, tell them again.
13 to 35.
Correct.
So can I ask?
Mm-hmm. He's from LA.
I'm from Los Angeles.
They're here for an HIV conference.
So being that you have all this information and insight about HIV, why do you go raw?
So, generally, I have been in a relationship for some time. I'm just getting out the relationship. And when I am seasonally hoish, right, I get on PrEP.
Y'all kids kill me thinking that PrEP is 100%.
Is she enough?
Or that it's a license to fuck off.
But PrEP also takes time to get into the system.
Correct.
Oh, no. But I'm not. Who said I don't know all of that? Talk about
exactly.
that.
I'm not saying so.
Well, we talking for the children that are watching too. And PrEP doesn't work with the clap. Or the super gonorrhea. You see that clap? Or the super gonorrhea.
I don't know about the super gonorrhea.
So your concern is HIV only. All the other STDs you're not really.
Come on, Elder.
So this is the thing.
He is.
I say I fuck raw for two reasons. Number one, my concern is primarily HIV, though being on PrEP forces me to go to the doctor to get tested regularly for all of the other STIs. But then second of all, I don't only speak for myself. I am kind of like the martyr for the community of people.
You are.
Right. I'm the martyr for the community of people who don't have the space that you were just talking about, right? You were just talking about people not being able to disclose their HIV status. They also cannot disclose that they are having unprotected sex, which leads to HIV, right? Okay. Because the moment we begin to talk about...
Are you mad?
I feel some type of way, Uncle.
Because you are really yelling. Why are you yelling?
I'm sorry. No, I just get excited. This is how I be talking.
I'm loud too. Go ahead.
The moment that we begin to say that I have raw sex, I begin being judged.
Well, the bottom line is it does feel better.
It does.
There definitely is a difference.
Yeah.
Now we're not going to sit here and say that it's not a difference.
Right. So that being said, you won't get upset if someone burns you.
Oh, burn as in infection.
I won't.
STDs or whatever.
Right.
So this is a true story. This is a true story. Recently, I was contacted by somebody that I had sex with who just seroconverted.
Okay.
Right?
Seroconverted means going from HIV negative to HIV positive.
Right.
From clean to dirty.
Now we just said.
I'm just saying.
So make it plain for the people. Right. So we have thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers in here.
So me and this person, we didn't have any penetrative sex or no fluids were exchanged, but I had not had been on PrEP for that amount of time that we're talking about where it can get in your system.
So you were still in the window period.
Right. And so we began to talk and he hit me up and he was just like, hey, this happened.
I just want to go and check yourself because...
No. Actually, he was just like, can you believe this happened to me?
Oh.
Right. But the point is, when he told me this, I could not be upset with him.
Okay.
But you said y'all hadn't exchanged fluids.
No. But my point is, when he was telling me that, what he was saying is that because we had some type of interaction, you should go get tested. Right? Okay. Because I'm newly diagnosed.
That was cool of him.
Right, it was cool.
Because most folks won't do that.
It was cool of him to do. But what's interesting about it is when that happened, I knew immediately. He began to apologize, say he was sorry, call, want to have conversations. And I had to tell him, I said, look, this is not the time that you need to be focused on me. Because you being focused on me takes away from your health, right? Because he got potentially a double diagnosis of HIV and AIDS, right? Mm-hmm. But that was my decision. I am a consenting adult. I made a decision on myself to do whatever I did, to suck whatever dick I sucked, right? And whatever comes from that, I have to deal with it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I will not be upset about the clap from somebody. I will not be upset about the syphilis. I may be upset about the decision I made, but not from them. It's my decision to do that.
Okay.
I'm responsible for my own body.
You are.
You are. So then let me ask this. So who do you think carries the burden if a person that's living with HIV is having sex with someone who's negative? Do you think that there's...
The elders are carrying on my time, y'all.
Do you think there's a burden for the person that's living with the virus to tell the person that's negative? Or do you think the person that's negative has the responsibility to take ownership of their own health and ask?
So unfortunately, by law in most states, it is the burden of the person that's living with HIV, but the reality is it's the responsibility of your goddamn self.
I agree. I believe it's a shared responsibility. Yeah. I believe it's a shared responsibility, period.
Yeah. Because the truth of the matter is, if we took responsibility for our bodies, right, then we would make some of the decisions. Like, I make these decisions knowing the possibilities. Would I be excited if I seroconverted? Mm-hmm. No. But I know that that's my responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people are not taking responsibility for their bodies because they're blaming these laws and they're blaming what they heard from these different organizations and how they feel and their friends. And so they're saying, I can take this risk because if this bitch give me this, then I'm going to put her under the jail. Bitch, if you live in the South, it's going to be real hard for you to put somebody in jail, especially if you're a sissy. Okay?
So here's my take on it. Here's my take. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm listening from a different ear. Yeah. Because as someone who is living with HIV,
right. Come on, somebody.
I would have done anything not to contract it.
Yeah.
So to hear my little brother saying, I'm not using condoms, I'm relying on this pill, yada, yada, yada. When I was diagnosed almost 20 years ago, I was devastated, and I'm like, why didn't I use a condom?
Now pause right there. But finish. I want you to finish what you're going to say. Mm-hmm. But just pause right there, because as a person who's negative, I've had people who are positive or the HIV community attack me because I posted my HIV negative results on my goddamn social media.
I think that's beautiful.
People were messaging me like, oh, you shaming people who are positive, and why you celebrating it like that? You making other people feel some kind of way.
Celebrate it.
And I'm just like, what?
Celebrate it. Because technically the way we look at it now, you're a statistic.
Correct. So, and I'm an anomaly.
Right. HIV negative black gay men is like, come on, applaud yourself. Pat yourself on the back for that. Because as a person that does the HIV test, every time I test somebody negative, hand clap, put on your refrigerator. Mm-hmm. Let everybody know you do not have HIV. That is nothing to be ashamed of.
And I think that the message is so conflicting at times because it's like we tell people, and I always think in terms of young people, even though I know grown-ass men need this information too.
SayItInACard.com is an online greeting card company that delivers right to your front door. Visit our website, www.SayItInACard.com. You can read the cards, order the cards, and we ship them directly to you. If you feel it, we say it in a card. We have breakup cards, troubled relationship cards, troubled friendship cards, and of course, all of the traditional cards as well, from birthday to Mother's Day. So again, visit us at www.SayItInACard.com. Free shipping for a limited time.
I'm sorry, Keisha. Yes, Keisha, I have been living with HIV since November 1999.
Yes. Wow. But I think sometimes the information is conflicting. Because on one hand, the HIV drug community, CBOs, community-based organizations, all of that will say, use protection, stay negative, da-da-da-da. But then on the other hand, it's like, oh, well, you can live, and, it's okay if you become positive, because the drug treatments are different.
Right.
So it's almost like it confuses people. Right. So it's like, well, bitch, if I get it, I get it. It's not a big deal.
And I think that was,
but the message is it's such a conflicting message, and they don't often say, yes, people do survive and thrive.
But they are still dying.
But there are people that still die.
People are still succumbing to HIV because their bodies have become resistant to the medications. They're not taking the medications. They have all these other co-infections that's taking them out. Stress. Blacks, we got stress. So you add all these other societal factors to your HIV diagnosis then come on. Especially when you live in an area where you can't access proper medical care. For one, because of shame, because you see somebody going to an AIDS clinic. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, Craig went to the AIDS clinic. You know, all the shame and stigma. So I get it. I get why folks do not disclose their status. But I'm sitting here like, God dang, no condoms at all? And it's not a judgment. It's like as someone living with this, taking a pill every single day, I would give almost anything not to have to do this.
No, I'm with that. So, first of all, I honor that, right? I honor that space, and I respect that space, right?
Thank you.
But at the same time...
And I do respect your space, too. I get it.
Yeah.
Raw sex is amazing.
I appreciate you being so open.
Raw sex is amazing.
I have to...
Amazing.
Yes. I have to say this. I have to say this, right? Like, I am not saying this from a space of... And I know it can come across. And that's probably what y'all are saying in the comments. Also, like Donta is feeling. Y'all probably are thinking I am promoting culture.
I don't think that.
I don't think that.
No, but I just want to make sure everybody
You're
out there
saying that
clear.
Culture exists.
The culture exists,
you're not
right?
promoting it.
And I am not saying, right? I was abstinent in my relationship for 10 or 11 months, right? The first time I messed around.
Wait a minute.
You were abstinent?
You were abstinent
in a relationship?
Listen.
Y'all weren't fucking?
Let's unpack that.
It's
You
levels.
need to unpack that.
It's levels to this. It's levels to this
How
bitch
you in a
over here.
relationship and you abstinent?
Right. We'll come back to that. My point is, I am not saying I am going around fucking any and everything.
But
I
when
am
you
saying,
fuck, you fucking wrong.
and I am also not saying that looks like penetrative sex, right?
Okay.
But I'm generally in relationships or I'm on PrEP. That's what I'm saying.
So let me ask you, why do you think, with all that you know about the virus? Well, first let me say this. I think something that you said a few moments ago is very important. You said, if I was to contract any STD right now, whether it's HIV, herpes, or whatever, I would take complete ownership.
Yes.
I think that a lot of times when people seroconvert or they contract some sort of a virus or just STD, they always look to the other person and say, it's your fault. They want to blame somebody else. But it's like, you have to own that. You have to own that you were a participant in that, and especially if it was not a scenario where you were raped or molested.
I feel like something is bubbling up.
I'm good.
So
I'm reading the comments, and I just want to go back. I think Mona said yes. HIV medication is extremely expensive, which is another reason why a lot of people are not on them. Mm-hmm. It can cost upwards of $2,000 a month to get your medication.
And PrEP is expensive.
PrEP is expensive.
And there are more white gay men on PrEP than there are black men because their insurance is oftentimes covered, and they have insurance that a lot of black gay men don't have.
So our healthcare system is serious. So whenever y'all see them arguments on Capitol Hill about the healthcare system, that is really affecting people living with HIV and getting the care and all that kind of stuff they need. So, okay, that was my caveat.
So now, why do you think that, with all that you know,
so this is
it just because it feels good?
No. So
well, hold on, let me finish because I have another question. It's like sub-question.
Okay.
Is it just because it feels good, or is it because you're in the moment and you're like, bitch, I'm not about to stop and get this condom?
So I think that for the culture I'm talking about, a lot of time that may be one of the issues. For me, personally, like not want to get up. I mean, it's lazy. Lazy sex, right? That is not for me. I am not intentionally, like I make a decision when that happens. Because it's generally, once again, I've been in a relationship for a long time, right? But aside from that, I came into this work in a different way, right? I said this before, so I won't repeat all of it because some of y'all have heard it before. But I came into this work from a person that was openly HIV positive, told me 2 weeks into it, is my father, became my father, adopted me. I was 16, 17, been in this house since then, living on this couch from the metro, right? From there, though that person wanted me to go to school and do good and be good as a gay man, I did not want to do that. I wanted to be a prostitute, right? And so I began to go out and whore and do what I needed to do to get money, though I really didn't have to because my gay father, who had adopted me, really had me in his arms. But he allowed me the space, though he didn't know I was prostituting, to go out there and do what I needed to do. And there were many times that I did contract STIs. There were many times that I did have moments where I could have seroconverted, and I was always at this doctor's office, right? At some point, the doctor's office he was working at said, hold on, this heifer ain't seroconverted. She done had a couple STIs that we done got rid of, but this is what high risk look like. Do you want to do outreach for us? Because wherever your pockets are is where the HIV is, right? I then got hired off the street into this space, right? So that's how I came into public health. So I do have a very different perspective of it. And my perspective is coming from survival sex, which is why I talk about
Survival sex, explain to them.
Okay, survival sex is having sex because you need to survive. You're having sex for money. You're having sex for a place to stay. You're having sex for food. You're having sex. That's what I began to do because my father, once again, who adopted me, did not know I was prostituting, right? And so I come from that space, and knowing that space, I don't mind, and I get a little emotional talking about it, because I don't mind being vulnerable enough to be beaten in spaces like this, since I now do have a platform, because those people don't have a choice, right? And for me, now it's not that I do this. I am safer than probably most of the people that watch this, right? Because I understand risk, I understand my responsibility, and I understand disclosure and consent now more than ever as a prostitute, right? But the thing is, I don't mind being that bitch that has to take it for all the people out here that don't have a choice and or have a choice and choose to do nothing because the community, their family, the people around them, the metro station don't love them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from that. I come from being in a place where, bitch, I was kicked out of my biological family. You know what I'm saying? So, bitch, I didn't have no love. So the moment that a bitch told me they loved me, bitch, we was fucking raw because that consummated our love. That's why I'm also in sex therapy. That's why I can talk so well about this.
So you believe also that sometimes people have raw sex because they want to feel that connection. They feel like that kind of
I agree with
solidifies the relationship.
So my take on that when it comes to raw sex, especially within the gay community, when you got black gay men who are constantly being oppressed, suppressed, and all kind of stuff and belittled. Well, people in general. And the one place of intimacy is within the bedroom.
Yeah.
If our intimacy is now disrupted by this barrier, then that's another additive to either my stress level or my disconnect from you. So it's that one time where I can just be completely open, completely transparent, completely naked with an individual without having to invite something else, which is the condom, into the bedroom. Right. So I think giving people a condom is not going to decrease HIV rates. Yeah. Understanding why they're not using the condom is what's going to make the difference. I pass out condoms all the time to kids who are sexually active. They may never use them. That's the question. Why are they not using it? Because it's a barrier. It's something else that they got to add to their toolkit of responsibility in the one time they want to be carefree, risque, let it all go. You know, so I get why folks don't use condoms beyond the sensitivity of it all, beyond the pleasure, the mental aspect that comes with using this condom. When I first started in this field, I worked for on a research study that actually reached out to DL dudes. So down low men.
Third drink.
Third drink. So he's gonna get real loud. So my job,
he's gonna sweat,
brother.
Right. So my job was literally to go out there and find men on the down low and get an understanding as to why they're on the down low.
Could we get someone to replenish us some tequila in the house, please? We're running low on tequila.
So I would go out, I would talk to these guys, and these are dudes, and I would say, why are you not using a condom? Why are you not doing this? And they would admit to me and say, because if I use a condom with this dude, I'm admitting to the fact that I meant to have sex with him.
And let me ask this. So in terms of, because you talked about this conference, it came out that the demographic is 13-year-olds to 35. Where do black women fall in that? Because I know the number has...
What was the question again?
That's a Donta question.
Where do black women fall in terms of the rate at which black women are getting infected. Because I remember at one point it was the number one killer of black women. 18?
It's up there. Yeah, I don't have.
But it changed.
I don't have the numbers, but yeah, black women are still at high risk of new infection, unfortunately, and that's because just the black community as a whole does not talk about sex from a sex positive platform. You know, we have a lot of ideas about sex that have been ingrained in us generationally. Yeah. It's just been passed down, these truths or whatever the case may be, which is why
a conditioning of a thinking.
Exactly, which is why Ian's confessional is so, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that.
When plenty of y'all fucking without condoms.
Right now watching this show.
I got cousins, female cousins, black women who have children with multiple babies' daddies. And I think that relationships, heterosexual relationships, and marriages in particular, it's a false sense of security. Because a lot of you will have unprotected sex
right
quicker than we will sometimes.
And believe it or not, only 15% of this country gets tested for HIV per year.
And that's mostly gay people.
Yeah. And I also wanna offer this. I know you have a primarily female audience. Mm-hmm. Please don't shoot me for this. I love y'all. I also wanna force some of you to look internally with your potential homophobia, right? When you think that I am potentially lost for talking about raw sex so openly because I'm a gay man, but you have children that you're not married to.
Or you have, right.
With men you're not married to.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's easy to like judge people from your
I mean, that was a swish,
right?
Because like me I work with kids, and when I talk at high schools and whatever, I see. Let's just go to churches.
Right.
When they sit the pregnant girl down, she's pregnant, out of wedlock. Sit her down. You can't do nothing until you give birth to this baby. Yada 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 yada. Whatever case may be. I'll always be like, y'all tripping off the baby. I'm tripping off the times before she got pregnant that she had sex without a condom. Mm-hmm. I'm tripping off what could have happened prior to her getting pregnant, or had she not gotten pregnant, she could have caught HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, whatever the case may be, because clearly she's out there having unprotected sex. And a lot of times we don't equip our young girls with the power mindset to let them realize that in the bedroom they do have a say.
Yes.
Girls should not be shamed for having a condom in their purse. They should not be called a whore, but the son is let free, like a rooster in a hen house. Women have power in the bedroom, period. And we ought to educate our girls about that.
Because most girls are only given the information about birth control.
Birth control. Don't come home with no baby. That's what we tell our daughters. Don't come home with no baby. We never say don't come home with no STD. Don't come home with no HIV. Don't come home with that.
One of my people, one of my followers, women followers, messaged me probably about a month ago. And she had sent her daughter away to college. And she was so excited. But the daughter came back like a month in because she was pregnant.
Right.
She found out that the daughter was pregnant before she left. She just started showing a month into the semester. Mm-hmm. And so she messaged me and was like, Craig, I didn't share this with you guys. Sometimes I share things with you guys and I let you see what I say back to them. But she said, Craig, I'm so devastated. I just don't know what to do. And I said, look, I was about to get on a plane. And I said, I'm going to message you when I get to the other end. But it just came to me. So I messaged her right before the plane took off. And I said to her, look at the bright side. We talking about pregnancy. I said it could have been HIV or something else. You understand what I'm saying?
You can handle a baby.
You can handle a baby.
You can handle a baby.
Because at the end of the day, you have to trust, believe, and know that everything happens when and as it should.
And that child's supposed to be here.
And that child was supposed to be here. You sent her down there to college because you thought college would grow her. Mm-hmm. But it's probably the baby that's going to grow her exponentially in a way that college never could.
Right.
And she said, oh my God, I never thought about it that way. I said, but you have to take your hands off of it and allow her to be a mother. You can't step in and do everything for her because then she won't grow.
But it just really all boils down to communication and learning how to communicate. If Ian says, I don't want to use condoms, okay. He's also giving me a choice to say, well, I don't want to get down with you then. So instead of us looking at Ian like, I can't believe, there's somebody that don't mind laying up with Ian without a condom. That's one raw, another raw coming together to have raw sex. It's not just Ian out there just taking it. You ain't just taking it, right? Okay, yeah. So I'm like, if you want to have safe sex, you have safe sex. That's your zhush. What he eat don't get me fat.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so let's move on to Sissy.
That's yours.
I hate that word.
Why?
Let me tell you why I hate that word. I hate that word because I was called that growing up by my uncles when I didn't know what a sissy was.
I was called that by family members.
Yeah, I had no idea. I'm like, what is a sissy? What is it? Why do you keep calling me that?
Family members that borrow money now.
Yeah.
Family members that borrow money from the sissy's book about sissies.
Yeah. So that was my thing, and my thing, my thing with this is I hate when older men call young boys fags, sissies, and punks, especially when you know how horrible the world is going to treat them if they in fact are gay. So now you're setting this kid up to go out into the world, not trusting you, their family, their covering, and the world. And then when they end up making a family of their own, you judge them and say, oh, that's what you get. You done went out there, now you're part of them. But you called me a faggot and a sissy from the age of 11 on up. You didn't protect me. You didn't cover me, which was what I thought men were supposed to do. You didn't do that.
This is a perfect place to put in the conversation that you and I had when I stayed at your house the last time we were watching... You know what I'm about to say?
Which one?
We were watching.
We had a lot of conversations.
We were watching. It's not called The Voice. What's that show you put me on to? The Four.
The Four.
And there was a black guy on there named Vincent.
Vincent.
And he's from Alabama.
Right.
And they, you know how they show on these reality singing competition shows. So they did a little package where they showed his family, and his family was just a down home.
Come on, Andrew.
Family, just a down home black family, and country family. And you know, this boy Vincent is now on the Four, and when they cut to the audience, like his friends that were there to support him were all white guys.
All white.
And the boy was singing so amazingly well, and I said to Donta, I want him to win. And Donta said, I don't. I said, why? He said, because if he wins, he's not going to make music that we would want to hear. He's going to make music for white people. He said, because we hurt him. I said, what do you mean by that? And it stung. I knew what he meant, but I wanted to hear him say it.
You know, I said, pull it out.
I'll pull it out you. I said, what do you mean we hurt him? He said, because his family was probably the ones that called him sissy, fag, and punk, just as ours were. Yep. And he said, and so that boy is no longer a part of the black community. He has retreated to the white community. And often I've found that black gay men who exclusively date white men not just because they're attracted to them, but because the black community has hurt them. And so they've decided to, I'm just not even going to be bothered with black folks.
I asked this question one time to a bunch of young men. I said, are you a black gay man? Are you a gay black man or a black man who's gay? And some of them said, well, I'm gay first because the gay community accepts me more than the black community, which is very hurtful to me because my blackness comes first. You know, I'm black first. But to hear them say that, like, my own community rejected me, so I'm gay first because when I go out in the club with the white boys or whatever the case may be, they welcome me in. And I'm looking like, so we've forgotten everything that the black community stands for, represents, has done, because the black community does not really embrace its own unless it fits into a certain box.
And most of us that were called sissy, fag, and punk, those words shattered self-esteem.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
I've never been a person that suffered from low self-esteem, but all of my issues in terms of insecurities that I've had, because we all have insecurities at varying degrees of insecurities. I'm probably on the end that with very little insecurity. I don't really give a fuck what people think. But whenever I think about the insecurities that I have, they're always attached to sexuality.
Right.
And it always points back to family, church, neighborhood children that I played with, schoolmates that said, because those were the words that they used
before you knew what it was. Before I knew what gay was, I was called that.
And so you got to think about all of us that heard those words, and then we come into this community. I don't use the word lifestyle. But then we come into this community carrying that baggage with us. And so here I am, a broken heart, wounded soul, trying to have a relationship with you, another broken heart and wounded soul, when neither of us have taken the time to do that proper inner work, that proper healing.
Because you got to think about it. When we deal with kids, I get really protected. Because if we see a little black kid get called a nigger by a white woman or a white man, we ready to drag her or him all throughout Target. You know, but you see your old gangster uncle, look at your little fag son. Oh, he ain't no fag. Leave him alone. He just sensitive.
Oh, he's a sensitive.
He's just soft. So, but we don't check that. So we allow our kids to be, our gay youth to be berated, belittled, and dogged by family members.
Right.
family members.
Right.
You know, we don't stick up for them. So that kid feels so unsafe, so unprotected. And then what that boy ends up doing, he grows up and marries a woman.
Because you've called him sissy fag and Paul called his wife.
I want to be accepted by my family, so let me get this wife for the heirs. But when she goes to sleep, I'm running to get some cigarettes every single night, and I don't even smoke.
Or when she flies out of town for work, and I'm going to fly Craig in. Book number 2.
I'm just saying. So when it comes to the community, are we really a community? Are we really a family? Are we really a village? You know, because I look at a whole lot of just oxymorons up in, and I look like right now, I'm getting my PhD right now. And people ask me, why are you getting a doctorate? Why are you getting a doctorate? I said, because one thing they can't take from me is this education. And when I have these letters behind this name, that's me. Fag, sissy, punk, whatever. Dr. Fag, Dr. Sissy, Dr. Punk, whatever.
Boo.
Say it, but
Come on, Lola.
Right.
Thank you, Lola.
So it's like we got to get to the point where we start affirming our kids, whatever course they're going to be. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. The way he should go, whatever way the child should go, not the way you want the child to go, not the way you think is going to be best for the child. Train up a child in the way he should go. You know, so if you see your child teetering this way, okay, let me prune the leaves so you can go this way and be the best gay person you can be the best lesbian you can be the best you can be. That's your job, village.
And see, that was why I had I did a live podcast.
Am I still corny, Keisha?
That's why. And she up there talking about that's Donta.
Keisha, my girl. I love Keisha.
Exclamation
that's
point.
My girl.
But see, that's why I did a podcast, a live podcast, like last year sometime. I don't remember what month it was. Tiffany Smith Bell came and some of my other people. But I did a conversation, nigger versus faggot.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have a conversation and say, what's really the difference? Because they both are venomous words.
Right.
Depending on what community of people you're talking to.
Right. Right. Depending on who says it.
And depending on who says it. All right, so the word fetish.
Ian covered that already.
Yes.
What was that?
The must and the smell. And let's let him simmer down. So, Wendy.
All right, so Wendy Williams.
Your thread not moving no more.
So she had mentioned today that she's been staying in a sober house.
Okay, hold on. Virgil asked a very important question.
What is that?
What are you doing to uplift black gay men? Okay, well, I can tell you what I do. So I work in the field of sexual health, and I oversee a program in Los Angeles called Healthy Him. If you're on Facebook, go to Healthy Him, HEALTHY Him, and basically it's for young men of color. So I am building bridges because I believe that if we can get young men of color to come into the same space and have shared conversations regardless of sexual orientation, we'll begin to see differences in the community. Because whether you black and gay or black and straight, the cops are still shooting at you. The cops are still pulling you over. So that's one thing that I am. Craig's sitting in a chair. Get Craig a chair. Craig's in a chair.
What they think?
Right, you on your knees.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing. I have my own podcast, The Donta Show. I've written 2 books. I do a lot of public talks. I work with another organization in LA called Better Brothers LA to try to just get the word out that we need each other. I think the village needs to come together, especially the black gay community. Me and Ian were talking yesterday because we went with Craig to see T.S. Madison, and we hadn't officially met until yesterday. We knew each other from social media through the work that we do.
So in other words, what he's saying is I brought them together.
Craig brought us together because Craig said, I want you two just to share a lift to get out there. And I was like, yeah, a stranger. I don't know.
That's that LA shit.
I don't feel like,
we were saying that.
We both said the same thing.
And I was like, look, I'm about to connect y'all in this little text message thread.
Because I've been so hurt by black gay men. You know, I've been so dogged out by black gay men with the privilege, the elitism, just the arrogance. It's just this.
When I first moved to LA, Donta was the first person that I met from LA when I got out there, and right away I sensed that he had been hurt by black gay men, and so every now and then he would say little things to me, and I would say, "Girl, who hurt you?"
That was his character.
Girl, who hurt you? And he just bust out laughing one day. I was like, "No, seriously, who hurt you?"
The black gay community is just venomous. They're just. I mean, we're taught to be on the defense.
Yeah.
Because we have had to defend ourselves all our lives. So when we come into the same space, we walk into the spaces on edge and run for the nearest cocktail.
Yeah.
You know, we do that, and you know, we do that. But we got in the Uber last night and clicked instantly. Instantly.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a release for both of us because we had those reservations about being in a shared space for an hour with a total stranger. Yeah. But, you know, God saw different, and look where we are.
Yeah. So then Virgil asked, what are you doing to uplift? Was it uplift?
Uplift Black gay men. So I do a couple things. So I help lead a group called Impulse Group Houston. It's an affinity group of AIDS Healthcare Foundation. I'm the vice president of the Houston chapter. We do social activations that push the boundaries that Black gay men sit in. I also am the executive director of the Normal Anomaly Initiative. We have 2 programs that we're working on. A sex podcast, which actually airs on Facebook at the same time on Tuesday, Dick in the Box, and we're working on a docuseries that looks at the LGBT in the church called Outcry, which should be premiering at the beginning of the fall. Still working on it. It's grant funded. Y'all know how that go. Lastly, I'm also an author. I wrote 2 erotic dramas that are available at IyanlaFix.com and on Amazon. So I am doing a lot of work around building community. It does look different. I am a little radical. I'm a millennial. So anybody know anything about a millennial, and then add the levels of oppression of Black and gay, and you see why I'm fucking radical. So you may not understand me, but please know that I'm out here doing the work.
Aren't you supposed to be? I thought I was supposed to see this a rough of this.
Actually, tomorrow, if you're in Atlanta, we're gonna be at the crib.
When were you gonna give me the information?
I'm gonna tell you. Gonna be there anyway, child. So we're gonna be here in Atlanta showing the teaser. The teaser is it's unedited. It's raw footage. It's about 33 minutes.
I can see him when he's 50. I can see he's just gonna be such a gay man. And by then he gonna be wearing muumuus and dusters around his apartment.
So if you're in Atlanta, it's at 503 Boulevard, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia 30312.
What time?
From 8 to 10, I think.
8 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. We're showing the teaser for the documentary looking at the LGBT in the church. Just raw footage. I want to get some feedback.
Okay, I'm coming.
Small. But anyway, the point is, I'm out here doing it.
I'll leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
I have class on Thursday.
Yeah. So, bitch, I'm not you, Miss Virgil, but I'm just saying, bitch is my loving word. We out here trying to do the work.
And then my answer is, I have a podcast that's geared towards everything
somebody just said something. Have we said something wrong? Can you scroll back? Somebody just said, scroll up like 3 people. They said we said something about Black women. Felicia, what did we say?
Right here?
Yeah, just nothing.
I've been jumping in and out of the podcast.
I've heard most Black gay men have received unconditional love. Black women, mothers.
Oh,
aunties.
I like this. I like what you're saying.
Oh, well, you can't jump in and out, Felicia. You got to hear the whole thing now, sis. Because when you jump out, we probably said something that was so affirming and loving.
We gotta come back to Felicia.
And then when you come back in, we mad.
Felicia, please stay.
Don't leave.
Please stay. We gotta hear Craig's answer, and then we want to talk about that.
No, don't leave.
So what I love somebody
my
asked, was Donta in my first book? No, but Donta is the person who told me how to self-publish. Because when I met Donta, he already had 2 books out. And I was just like, Donta, I think I'm about to write a book, and da-da-da-da.
Well, you said an autobiography. And I said, what you done been through?
I said, listen, I done been through some things.
I'm writing an autobiography.
Right.
I'm like, how old are you? You like 30?
At the time, I was 35.
Yeah, I was like, autobiography? All I saw was Malcolm X, W.E.B. Du Bois. I'm like, who was you with? Craig what? But
yeah, so you all know, of course, I have a lot of female followers now, and I'm no stranger to saying this. Black gay men got me started in terms of my work, but Black women are now who sustain me. So everything that I've done with Black gay men in mind, even down to my greeting card business. I've written all of those greeting cards so that they would be inclusive. Like, none of the greeting cards are gender specific. So I had the black gay community, or gay community in particular, in mind when I wrote those cards. And obviously when I sat down to write Words Never Spoken, and One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, I had black gay men in mind, because I wanted to be able to speak to and for a community who, in my opinion, has been muzzled, hasn't been given a voice to really speak openly and honestly, like Ian has spoken tonight. And I know that not every single black gay man or boy has been given permission to speak his truth, or has a demonstration of what a forward, progressive thinking black gay man looks like. Because oftentimes when we look at the media, whether it's a television show, oftentimes we're put in relationships with Hispanic men or oftentimes white men. We don't really see demonstrations of two black men in a loving relationship. And it was Joseph Beam that said, you got it? Black men loving black men is a revolutionary act, baby.
Okay. I wasn't following you at first, but I found you.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, with that being said, all of my work, the books, the podcast, my stage play, A Day in the Life that I wrote and produced when I was 26, I'm 42. Everything has been, for the purpose of uplifting and healing, reaching and teaching black gay men. And I just understand now that even though that's my intention when I sit down to write, that the work is bigger than that. Because God can dream a bigger dream for you than you can ever dream for yourself. So I understand that I have mostly women readers and followers now, but of those women, it's black women. But I also know that I have white women reading and Hispanic women or Latina. So, and I'm okay with that, because Toni Morrison said...
no, I don't know this one.
Toni Morrison said, listen, Toni Morrison said, this is on YouTube. Toni Morrison said, when I sit down to write, I write for black people.
Yes. Yeah.
But obviously she's a Pulitzer Prize winner, so it's not just black people reading her stuff. And so she never said that it's not for anybody else to read. It's just her intention to speak to black people. And so she said that when you write a story or you tell a story and you plant that story so deep in the soil, you plant those seeds so deep in the soil of truth, that it's going to grow beyond the little patch or garden that you had in mind for it. It's going to grow beyond that. And that's what's happened with my
Somebody asked, real quick, somebody asked what my PhD is in. I'm getting a PhD in global leadership. So it's a doctor of philosophy in global leadership.
Booms. So back to the women's situation.
Yeah.
I spoke just for a second about being kicked out at 16 and getting into some things, right? I got kicked out by my mother, right? My mother was a bitch. But when I returned to my mother, probably at 21 or 22, she was frail and sick. And we made a decision to work through our shit. Because what I found out is that I had become a lot like my mother while trying to navigate this thing called life that she was trying to protect me from, right? And we decided to work through our shit, and my mother became my best friend. My mother was the first woman. She probably wasn't the first woman to affirm me, but she was the first woman that I desired affirmation from to affirm me. And before she died in 2012, my mother became my best friend. And she is my best, and she's the angel that I'm the most grateful for, even sitting right here. A lot of you guys may not understand my tenacity and the fact that I come across so strong, but it's because I have the strength and the resilience of my mother on my back. I say that because when we're talking about the fact that we probably don't speak enough as black gay men about the women in our lives, women have done some magnificent things on account of me. All different kind of women. Literally, the reason why I can sit here actually comes from a white woman that works for a white organization, right? She's actually here in Atlanta. Women have done some magnificent, amazing things for black queer folk. And we don't, not that we didn't tonight, but we don't give them the credit that they deserve so often, because literally, if it had not been for my mom affirming me in 2011, I would probably not be alive today in 2019.
Somebody asked, we got to come back to Wendy too. Yeah. Do gay men wish they weren't gay? I'm okay now, but there was a time in my life that I used to pray that it would go away, and I write about that in my first book. I used to pray that it would go away.
Well, I was straight for a minute. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
I was an ex-gay. I was like Andrew Caldwell.
Wow. Yeah.
So, buy the book. www.DontaMorrison.com. Buy the books. You will see. Yes, I was delivered from homosexuality for 7 years. Dated girls. Dated girls, the whole nine. And then it was funny. So I met a guy, and something happened, and I was like, Lord, what's going on? You told me that I was delivered. What are you doing? Yada yada yada. And then my mom said, are you gay again?
Yeah.
And I was like,
you just confused.
Yeah. And I said, I don't think I was ever straight. I think I was just able to,
manage it.
Yeah. I said, I suppressed it. And then she was like, all right. And she said, well, how do you know? I said, this is how I know. And this was her Oprah aha moment. I said, Mommy, if I marry a woman, I am going to cheat on her with a man. If I get with a man, I'm never going to cheat on him with a woman. Mm-hmm. And you saw the light bulb, and she was like, oh, I get it. Yeah. And she said, I get it. I said, no, that was it. And
that's a good way.
Yeah, and also the fact that I grew up in church, of course, as many of us have, and then in my season of heterosexualityism, I got my license in ministry, so I'm a licensed minister. And then when my shift changed again, speaking engagement stopped. People wasn't calling me. All kind of stuff just happened. I was like, well, I can either lie my way to a pastorate level and get the wife and have the kids and have this whole facade, or I can.
He's trying to ignore that.
Or I can be honest. Because the Bible says they that worship Him must worship Him in spirit and in truth. How can I worship Him in truth if I'm living a deceitful life up on the pulpit? Mm-hmm. So I was like, y'all can judge, y'all can say what y'all want to say, but me and God, we good.
Hold on, Cheryl. No, you missed it. You missed it, Cheryl. We didn't say that gay men aren't tempted to cheat. What he said was, if he had married this girl, he would have been tempted to cheat with a man.
With a man.
But with a man, he would have never been tempted to cheat with a woman.
Right. And I would have never cheated on my wife with another woman.
Yeah. Right.
But if her girlfriends brought they
fine ass husband,
listen,
he could get it.
Now,
so had you ever wanted to not be gay?
I don't think I've ever. No, I've always just accepted me.
That's a beautiful thing.
I don't think I definitely am an anomaly in that, right? Like I'm not the norm.
I think so.
I'm not the norm.
Yeah, I'm
also a millennial.
True.
I think that most
we had y'all.
But was it because you had a detachment from your mom?
No, not only my mom. So when I left, my mom stayed with our entire family, lived in the same house. So 4 or 5 generations of people.
Y'all were Latino.
Yeah, boots, right? And so they all lived together. So when I left my mom, I left my entire family. So I didn't have to deal with anybody. Mm-hmm. I was with my gay family, and we did my gay things.
Okay.
And so when I got reconnected to my mom, she died in 12. So guess what happened to my family? I love my family. Hey, I know y'all probably see this because y'all on my Facebook. I love y'all. But my family lives 45 minutes away from me, and I haven't seen them in 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I am still ministering. I have one of the most supportive bishops in the world. I love my church, love my bishop, love my first lady, all of that. So yeah, I'm still ministering.
Did you need another water? Now it won't be Fiji this time.
No, I'm good. Somebody asked a question that I missed it. It rolled up too fast. But
okay, so what y'all want to say about Wendy?
Well, what I want to say is this Go macro bar is moving on my colon. I don't know what's up in this, but it must have a high fiber content.
Now listen,
she tear you up.
Yeah, she get me right together. I feel a deliverance coming. No, I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get back to the hotel in time to rid myself of this spirit.
Yeah,
but see that's the thing. See that's the thing when you eat vegan. Yeah, it unlocks your bowels.
Right, go macro. Go macro.
In a way that
it's a blessing in the
yes,
bar.
Indeed.
It's a blessing in the bar.
See, it's moving that colon.
No, man.
Oh, how have you resolved your faith in homosexuality when many churches speak against it? Because I know who I am. Most folks study the Bible from the pastor's perspective. They don't take the time to rightfully divide the word of God, to get it in their own spirit and to understand what is being said to them.
And to that, I would add, they understand the Bible from their pastor's perspective and whoever taught them religion.
Right.
So if it was your grandmother that took you to church, you most times have adopted whatever she believes in her. Whether it was your mother.
And believe it or not, most pastors really have no problem with homosexuality.
And when you know your name,
yeah.
When you know your name,
yeah.
But see, for me, the way that I was able to reconcile my sexuality with my religious beliefs, one, I had to understand that being gay is instinctive. Sexuality is instinctive, whether you're heterosexual, bisexual. Sexuality is instinctive. It comes natural to you. It's how you're wired. It's not a choice. It's not a decision. So that was what I had to understand. And I think that's that's a part of the journey that most of us have to walk at some point. But to your point about affirmation and affirming and all that stuff, I think it's a journey for the rest of your life. You have to constantly affirm yourself. Just like being black, you have to constantly tell yourself black is beautiful because we live in a European world.
Yeah.
And the world is always telling you that white and European beauty is priority. But you always have to remind yourself for the rest of your life that being black is beautiful. Same thing about being gay. Every day of my life, I have to remind myself, listen here.
And in that, as a gay Christian, what I tell a lot of my youth will not step foot into a church because they've been so hurt by the church. So I'm kind of like a mole, if you will, because I'm in a traditional church system. I'm gay. My partner, of course, he's gay. We've been together. Imagine that. Right. So, and we're both actively involved in the church. So we are present in the ministry. Now, the thing about it is what I tell a lot of my kids, or what I'm seeing, is that a lot of my gay youth who are Christian or is raised up Christian, because they are so mad at the church, they take it out on themselves. You know, and I'm like, yo, you need to reconcile your relationship with God. Take the church out of it. You know, what is God saying about you? Is God saying get in that relationship? Is God saying sleep with that person? Is God saying do that? You know, build your relationship with God and then let everything else fall where it goes. That's how I can walk into any church, and not be bothered or whatever. They're not gonna run up on me because I come back for them.
That's weirdly reaching back to Iyanla. That was a conversation that me and my coach had that my therapist wouldn't have with me.
Well, your coach is different than your therapist.
Yes, that's what I keep on saying.
Right.
That's why you need Iyanla. So the conversation was, if you are serving a God that does not serve you, if you are loving a God that does not love you, if you are believing in a God that doesn't believe in you, then why are you doing it? And at some point, I begin to say, it can't be that. Because I have done too much, made too many mistakes, went through too much shit for it not to be the grace, mercy, and favor of God on my life. The protection, the divine protection of God surrounding me. Y'all have just heard just a little bit of the foolishness I have put myself in. And it cannot be nothing more than the favor, mercy, favor, and protection of God. And I begin to say, he cannot feel that way about me.
Being gay does not put you on the wrong side with God.
And being gay does not make you sexual.
Right.
It's a lot of celibate gays out there. People equate gay and homosexuality with sex. I know so many gay men who are not having sex. They're not doing it because their spirit is not allowing them to do it with just anybody. Because they've reached a place of personal fulfillment with self, spirit, and all that. It's all in alignment. So they're like, I'm not going to allow someone to come in and toxify this house that God has helped me clean up. And I think that people think, when they think about homosexuals, all we do is walk around and hunch on each other. You know, no, that's not the case. I got bills. I got class. I got stuff that I ain't got time to be hunching with nobody. I can't even hunch with myself.
Well, I do have time. Well, I'm busy, but I do.
Well, this micro bar,
I can find some
took
time.
all my time. But I just think that
Tell them how to get your book.
Oh, to get my books, you can go to my website, DontaMorrison.com, or you can go on Amazon and you can find them. It's cool. The first one is The End of the Rainbow, and the second one is Yesterday Clarified. But if you go on Amazon, just type in Donta, Donta Morrison, and they'll both come up. They'll both come up.
And tell them where.
IyanlaHaddock.com.
Knees, hold on. You can't be talking with that ice all in your mouth and shit. They don't even know what your first name is.
IyanlaHaddock.com. IyanlaHaddock.com. Or on Amazon. You can look me up on there too.
Yes.
Right. We on Wendy now?
Yes, Wendy.
We gonna lighten it up some?
Right, because we ain't got the Wendy yet.
Yeah, we ain't got the Wendy yet.
Before we go to Wendy, let me say this. What I will say, though, too, is, and this is just an observation in all of my years and experience of being gay, I do feel that there's a crop. There's a crop, you know, like a crop in a farm. Mm-hmm. I believe there's a crop or a subset or a sub-community of gay people, and I'm thinking in particular of gay men, that give their lives to the church. I don't mean like you being a minister or something, but I mean devote their lives to the church as praise and worship leaders or music directors.
Sacrificial offering.
Because I feel like they have this belief, this indelible belief that being gay is wrong, and it's almost like they serve the church, not God, but they serve in the church as an act of contrition, almost like if this is wrong, maybe God will spare me because
like
I've given a
penance,
like I've given my life to this church.
And those are usually the ones. Those are usually the ones that are always crying after sex.
Yes, getting down on their knees and praying.
I'll never do this again. Yes, you will.
And they are the freakiest.
Yes, you will. Yeah,
they are the freakiest.
They are,
because they feel like they have the most to lose. So it's like, if this is my last time, let me just go all the way every single time.
I think, and somebody said, or it's a sin. I think the sin with anything is not being honest about who you are. Mm-hmm. Period. Gay, straight, whatever. Be honest about who you are. If you are someone that loves to drink alcohol, you know, don't just not drink on Sunday. Oh, I can't drink on Sunday. That's the Lord's day. Well, God's day is really every day. And he knows you're drinking on Monday morning for you go to work.
Can I ask you, y'all both are very wise. This is a real question. Why, when we talk about sexuality, especially homosexuality in public, especially with other sexualities, right? Mm-hmm. Do we always focus on the reward of hell? Right? Like on the sin, right? Like, why is there always a conversation about, like, I'll love you, but I'll hate the sin. Or, you know, love the sin. Yeah, or I'm going to send you to, you know, we don't want you to go to hell. Listen, I'm not scared of hell because I ain't going. Okay? I'm not going to hell. Take hell off the motherfucking table.
What you gonna not do is hit me, though. That's what's not gonna happen.
I hit you.
No, but all this energy, I know you 3 drinks in.
It's that tequila. And he drinking tequila
straight, just ice.
On the ice.
Right.
So you're saying, why is it that are you saying when there are...
It's always about the penalty.
Right.
Well, that's been indoctrinated in our understanding of...
Don't give me that penalty, sis.
So you're saying that oftentimes when those outside of the gay community have conversation with us...
Right, Atlantis, exactly.
It's always a conversation of... well, I just care about you and I just don't want you to go to hell. Because the very first person that I ever told I was gay, she cried on the phone. And she said, oh, it's wrong. And you know, God, you're going to go to hell because of that. Like, you know, it's wrong in God's eyes and da-da-da-da. Like, she said that to me. And like, that's the worst thing that you could say to a person when they have come to you and opened up their soul.
I was praying for you, that cussing demon.
They've opened up their soul to you. That's the first thing that you say?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that has always bothered me so much. This conversation around like sin and hell, like there's always, no one can tell me why I'm wrong in this life.
But I do think everything has a consequence.
I'm with that.
Because I think one thing that we also make the mistake of doing is that when gays get to their place of comfortability in their sexuality, that they also lose certain morals.
Listen here.
I agree with that.
Now, let me pick up from right there.
Right. I agree.
Now, first I'm going to say this. I don't believe that being gay is a sin. I think how sexuality is used is sinful.
There you go.
And that's whether you're gay, straight, whatever.
Right.
Now, what I will say to you is that was one of the things that I uncovered when I was writing.
Thanks, Tyrone.
When I was writing my first book, I realized that the more I became comfortable in the gay community, once I found my people, my niche, it was almost like the more I participated in the gay community, like had gay friends, went to gay parties, went to gay prides, all of that kind of stuff started to move really in the gay community. I felt like I had abandoned the core values that I had when I came into this community. I became more comfortable with casual sex, per se. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I had to, reel that in. I had to find yourself. I had to find myself.
Right.
And I think in a city like Atlanta or a city like D.C., where you got gay kids that move to these cities from other places, there is a period where you have to find yourself. You have to find your gay self, because you have to figure out who you are as a gay person now. It's like in that process of matriculating in the gay community, it was almost like I had abandoned like the values that my family gave me, my parents had given me.
Right.
And it was almost like, Craig, who are you?
So
like,
you became gay.
Yes, I have morphed into someone else.
Gay. Yeah, and all you are now is gay. Oh, there go gay Craig.
Right.
And
it was just like, well, no, you got to come back. You got to come. Because
you're more than that.
Right. And I think that oftentimes you have young gay folks that forget who they are, and all of a sudden everything you do is just so gay. And it's just like, that's my issue with some of these affirming churches. Not all of them. Some of them, I said. Some of y'all get to these gay churches and y'all carrying on in them churches like y'all would
at the club.
Like y'all at the club.
Just wanting
y'all walking in with headscarves on like you're Joan of Arc. Like, you know what I mean? You dress like you at the club. Just because it's an affirming church doesn't mean you got to turn it into the church, to the club.
Right.
You just got a little gospel music in the background.
Right, yeah.
I just think that sometimes once we get so comfortable with who we are, it's almost like we're rebelling for all of the years that we suppressed who we were, for all of the years that we were in the closet. It's like, okay, bitch, take me as I am.
Mm-hmm. You said God loved me, right?
Right.
Yeah, but there's still a moral compass. There's still a moral compass that we should operate from.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Now, can we please get to
Wendy?
Okay.
We love you there.
What you want to say about Wendy? I'll say, here's what I will say.
I'm proud of her. That took a lot.
Well, before we get to the proud part, I think, yes, at the end of it, I am proud that she finally came up and said it, because you got to think about her platform. Mm-hmm. And I have said this, those of you that have been watching me for a while, I have said many times before, I know that her show is supposed to be hot topics and pop culture and all that stuff, but I just feel when you just like with the Queen's Supreme Court, it's supposed to be gossip and fun talk. But I can't be a part of that show if we're not going to talk about real shit too. I got to always push and put real conversation in there too, because that platform, the Queen's Supreme Court and the Wendy Williams Show, is so massive that some people are only going to be able to get their news from watching you.
Right.
And so for me, I just feel like because she's so busy trying to secure her spot in daytime television and not offend her white audience, there are certain conversations that she won't touch. And that bothers me. Because you can't have that kind of a platform and then just dodge around certain things. Now, I'm not saying you got to turn it into CNN, because it's not CNN. But, there are certain conversations that some of your audience will only know because you talk about it. Because they're not reading the Huffington Post. They're not reading the New York Times. They're watching Wendy and watching and loving hip hop.
That's it. And that's their world.
Right. So I think that it's great that she came out and said all this, because undoubtedly she's going to save somebody. And somebody's going to go get help or seek treatment because this person that they love, came out and said, listen, this is what's been happening with me.
And the fact that someone who is so vehement about other celebrities being honest and owning their truth. For her to do that, that was huge. And now maybe others will be honest about the truths that they've been lying about for months since February.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. You want to say it?
People been lying about the truth since February?
Yeah.
Well, who's been lying about something since February?
You want to go to Subway and get a sandwich?
Oh, Jussie.
I'm hungry.
Jussie Smollett. Because, see, that's the whole nother conversation. Because, see, my thing is, I don't understand why he thought... And, see, some of you wanted to believe him just because he was black. And, see, I wasn't with the fuck shit. Because, first of all, at negative 20 degrees, bitch, ain't nobody going to get no Subway sandwich. That food is not that good.
So, back to Wendy.
Oh, sorry. But
Wendy was honest.
She finally became honest.
She saved lives.
But my thing is, I just feel like... when I don't know this, but I'm just saying, when she fell with that... costume last year, the year before, when she was...
Oh, the Queen.
Right.
What was it really?
That was her Graves' disease.
Was that the Graves' disease, or was that...
No, she was high.
Or were you high?
Well, they said she was high when she said it, when she was stumbling over some words.
And when she was stumbling, right, that's what I'm saying. So it makes me look back at all the times that she stumbled. So instead of you saying what it was, and I understand you got to build up the courage and da-da-da-da, but my thing is, you basically ascribed all of that stuff to Graves' disease. It
was her escape.
And it's like you sitting on there and you talking about everybody else's shit. You wore Bill Cosby's ass out every chance you got. And you mean to tell me that you still ain't told us what's really going on with that husband.
Because she know we know. She knows that Wendy know we know. She know the tabloids only lie so much.
And my thing is, was it that stuff that's going on with the husband that's pushed you to get back on that shit?
She said that.
Yeah.
Where did she say all of this?
She said it because she said she went, she had the shoulder injury. I guess they got into a fight. She had the shoulder injury. She didn't say
she got into a fight. She said she fell.
She fell. She hurt her shoulder, and that's when she got on them drugs. And then with all the stuff about the baby mama and
where did she say all of this? I need to see this.
That's what I read.
Because the only thing
That's what I read.
Because on my Facebook page, I posted what she said.
That's what I read. I read that basically her and Kevin got into an altercation over this whole situation. It was heated. She broke her shoulder or something like that. And when she got on the pain pills,
she tore something.
She used the pain pills, and she got back into her addiction, and that's what triggered it. That's why folks that used to be addicted to stuff, they shouldn't get surgery.
You just ad-libbing for Wendy now.
No, I read that on the blogs, on the sites.
Fuck them blogs.
No, listen, I'm just... Wendy, we proud of you for being honest.
I'm proud that she finally got to it.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot to get on a national platform and speak that level of truth. That's huge for someone like her who has drugged every other celebrity into the ground. That's huge,
and that's why I feel like.
And we can't belittle that.
So then, when is Jussie gonna come out and tell the truth?
Jussie's not lying. Jussie was really attacked in Chicago.
Sure, I wasn't nobody out. First of all, I'm gonna tell you where was the problem with Jussie too. You didn't have this whole conversation with these MAGA people at negative 20 degrees. Bitch, it's too cold to be standing out there talking to people. You gonna get out of the camera because I'm talking about Jussie?
I think the thing is we were not.
Anybody having no long conversation?
We were not there. We don't
I ain't got to be there.
He goes to court.
Judge Judy said it best. If it doesn't make sense, it probably ain't true. And I'm not having no discourse with nobody at negative 20 degrees outside. Aren't you that empire faggot, nigga faggot?
He goes to
Who's
court
saying all of that at negative 20 degrees?
Haters, supporters. This is MAGA country. What's the matter with you?
Bitch, first of all, it's too cold. And, and it was so cold in Chicago that you couldn't even go out there because your forehead, you would have an instant headache.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
You were not there.
Let me tell you
something. None of us were there. We don't know.
The last time I was in, not this last time, but the time before that, when I was in Chicago, bitch, it was so cold. This homeless lady asked me to buy, I said, bitch, if you out here, I didn't say bitch, I didn't call her a bitch, but I was thinking to myself, honey, if she out here begging for food, this bitch got to be cold. I mean, she got to be hungry because ain't no way in the world I'm standing out here in this temperature asking nobody for shit. And so I took that lady into the Boston market.
The Nigerians are MAGA. Now, Felicia, you know they MAGA.
I took that lady into the Boston market.
I ain't talking about my girl Jussie.
Why? Because you know she lying?
We don't know. Lying? We don't know. It's going to come out in the court in two weeks.
Yeah, I don't need the court.
He go to court in 2 weeks. Somebody just said talk about the man who was lynched in North Carolina.
I don't know her.
What man that was lynched?
It scrolled by. You know what? To be honest, it's so much stuff happening in this country when it comes to race and whatever. It's hard to keep up with all these stories. It's really hard to keep. It's
Jussie is finished.
We moved on past.
I was just commenting on.
It's hard to keep up. I think we're traumatized, and because so much happens, we can just scroll past it like it didn't happen. But it's just so much.
All I know is
I'm praying for his judgment for that spirit.
All I know is if I had told y'all that I was out at the subway and some people...
Are you still on Jussie?
I am.
What about Avant?
Oh, no. I'm not doing that.
I can't do
Y'all
that.
are carrying.
Avant is... I know. I don't know. After the video that I saw last night, I was like...
Right, that was the thing that made me think that...
But no credible...
Okay, black man lynched, hands tied behind his back. That was in North Carolina?
No credible sources have.
I think that was in North. Was that in North Carolina?
They said it was North Carolina. I don't know that.
Google that. I know that broad that had the 2 kids that called them a nigger and spat. Was that in Target or the Piggly Wiggly or something? The white lady.
Oh, that was in ShopRite.
Yeah,
that was in a ShopRite up there in Connecticut.
Yeah, that one pissed me off. That lady was in ShopRite with her 2 kids and then went off and called him a nigger and spat and
you motherfucker.
Yeah, and did all this, getting my children out of here like she Miss Sophia. What? No, sis, no.
And then she had to resign from her position.
Yeah.
Good, because now you won't get unemployment.
It was you can call me a nigger all day, but that spitting, that was where I drew the line. That's where I drew the line. Your kids would have been orphans. I don't know. Spitting is disgusting. That's disgusting.
Even during sex?
Wait a minute. Wait. No, nobody said about spitting for the purposes of lubrication.
Spitting for the purposes of calling you a nigger. You nigger. That no.
Okay.
You can call me a nigger. Call me that. Whatever.
I said you want to get back to fetishes.
No, I don't. I don't.
Do you like? Do you like pee and stuff?
No, we ain't doing all that. So we having a healthy show. The show is clean. We pulled the folks back in.
Well, we're going to the greasy section of the show.
Yeah. Let me see.
You like people that you pee on?
Yeah, I don't know if he has. I don't know if Avant has lupus. I don't know what does he have. Has he been diagnosed?
I don't know.
Nobody. There's been no credible sources
except for that video.
Except for that video that
last night. The video that we saw last night, we clearly showed that something is wrong. But they said lupus.
I've heard lupus.
I'm not an expert on lupus, but I have a lot of friends who have lupus, and they're not knocking on death's door. But he looks bad. He looks like Freddie Jackson.
I don't want to speak on it because we don't know.
Have you seen Freddie Jackson?
Baby, Freddie has looked tragic for years.
Years. So maybe there's hope for Avant.
Talking about You Are My Lady.
Right.
Freddie, stop singing that song.
Okay, that Tasty Love. That love don't taste good.
Freddie, pull that song out of your repertoire.
Let it go.
Because you ain't never been into no women.
He might have.
He's one fingernail polish away from being a woman himself. But listen, fetishes. You like to pee on people?
Oh, come on. I'm leaving the conversation now.
Or be peed on.
I'm going to my prayer closet, y'all. So, Saints,
y'all
can follow me on Donta Morrison on Facebook.
Is that in the bed or is that in the shower?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, definitely prayers for Avant. And I love Freddie, too. I do love Freddie.
The normal anomaly on everything, y'all.
I love Keisha. Keisha's my girl. Me and Keisha gonna hang out. We're gonna turn up. We're gonna have a prayer meeting. Come on, Keisha.
They're carrying.
All right, well, listen. They have a conference to get to. You got a conference tomorrow?
I have a flight tomorrow. I got to get back home to LA. I got to get back home to LA.
Well, what time? You got a conference tomorrow or no?
Yeah, I got to go in the morning, then go to the airport.
So listen, have an amazing night. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Hopefully you
use coconut oil.
Yes, for your oil pulling.
Come on, Wendy, let's go pray. Ba ba ba.
Listen, hopefully
thanks,
you
Virgil.
heard something
Appreciate
that will trigger you to think or feel differently about something. Share the video, please. DontaMorrison.com. Normal anomaly. No, it's IyanLHaddock.com.
Yes.
And then you know mine, CraigTheWriterStewart.com.
Thanks, Kia. Hope you're feeling better, man, with that abscess going.
Thank you much. Did you all listen to the podcast yesterday? We dropped a new podcast yesterday. So Much to Say podcast. It's free. Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. Just search So Much to Say podcast. We had a conversation about a vegan journey. Those of you that have been trying to improve your habits and get rid of those heavy ankles.
Cankles. What they call them? Cankles.
This is the first step for you.
And if you've never been tested for HIV, please do so. Know your status.
Where can people, isn't there like an 800 number that they can call?
They can go online
and find out.
Just
greaterthan.org.
Yeah.
Greaterthan greaterthan.org will give you everything that you need.
Yeah.
Greaterthan.org.
Greaterthan.org.
Not .com.
Or you can go to my website. On my website, I have a link that can tell you where to get tested in your area. Type in your zip code, and you will find it.
And listen, if you want to purchase
Bye,
my
Marie.
books,
Have a
they're
good
available
night.
on Audible, all e-readers, Amazon, or you can purchase them from me directly. I had to think about
You
it.
got them all?
One book is $22.36, $3.54. The information is in the details in the comments.
And if you want to see him fuck, get his Patreon.
Man, he ain't doing all that. but you can go over to the Patreon.
May the Lord watch between
me and thee
while we're absent one from another. God bless everybody.
Maybe
Good night.
Bye, y'all.